Hello, sneak peekers. Welcome back.
Thanks for joining us for the first episode of our Fall 2018 season.
We have an amazing episode lined up for you tonight with a look back at summer movies, a peek into Netflix's surprisingly wide selection of rom-coms, predictions on who the next Superman will be, and much more.
So be sure to stay tuned and stay involved by following along on social media at Sneak Peek TV. You won't want to miss a thing tonight.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Sneak Peek. We are so excited to update you on all things entertainment.
As school swings back in session, we know it's hard to keep up. So here's everything you missed this past week.
Starting off on an unfortunately serious note, rapper Mac Miller passed away last week of a suspected overdose. The young rapper's death came as a shock and broke the hearts of fans everywhere, especially as he had just released his fifth album, Swimming, in August.
Many of Miller's fans connected with his music over its themes of drug addiction and depression. Our condolences go out to his family and friends.
On a brighter note, there's a new legendary celebrity who can brag about holding an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award, otherwise known as an EGOT.
That's right. John Legend joined the exclusive EGOT Club this past weekend after winning an Emmy Award as producer of Jesus Christ Superstar live in concert. Legend says he couldn't have done it without rapper Common, the co-vocalist and co-writer on his Oscar-winning song Glory from the movie Selma.
The bromance between the two warmed our hearts as Common expressed how proud he was of Legend and how momentous the occasion was that Legend is the first ever black man to win an EGOT.
Speaking of Emmys, fans of the Emmy Award-winning show Shameless are still shocked by Emmy Rossum's announcement as she leaves her role of Fiona. Theories are bubbling as Shameless fans wonder how the center of the Gallagher family could ever depart.
Is she going to run away, go to college, die? However Fiona's story arc might be concluding, there's no doubt that Rossum is bittersweet about leaving the show. After nearly a decade of filming, the connections between the cast and crew must be immense.
In her Facebook post, Rossum didn't mention why she's leaving, and she even hinted she might come back later down the road. I guess we'll have to wait and see what's in store for the actress.
Speaking of actors leaving their roles, it seems actor Henry Cavill will no longer be reprising his coveted role as Superman.
It seems that timelines and age have Cavill joining Affleck on the list of once heroes, leaving the question, who's next?
Looks like we won't be figuring that out for a while as the DC Extended Universe keeps busy with Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman 1984, a solo Aquaman movie, and Ezra Miller to star in a Flash movie.
As DC continues to come second to Marvel in the box office, it appears that Warner looks to shake up the game and revamp the universe a little.
That's all for news today. A great trend in film lately has been the rise of several prominent Asian and Asian American movie stars who have played some great roles in box office hits.
For example, Crazy Rich Asians became a $76 million box office success, and producers have already signed for a sequel. And let's not forget our favorite Chinese warrior, Mulan, whose live-action movie is being filmed right now.
That is amazing. We have Selena in the studio covering some of the best movies with Asian and Asian American leads, which we need to watch. Take it away, Selena.
What's the first thing you think about when you hear Asians in entertainment? Well, before Fresh Off the Boat and Crazy Rich Asians, it was probably just Jackie Chan and maybe Kung Fu Panda. Or maybe you might have heard of Joy Luck Club, the all-Asian casted movie that was released 25 years ago. Now, I'm half Chinese, and as much as I fully relied on Mulan for representation growing up, I'm super grateful for the Asian Americans representing in popular media now. Without further ado, here's my comprehensive timeline of Asian American representation in the entertainment scene. The first time I remember connecting to a leading Asian woman was in 2012 when the Mindy Project first aired on Fox. Not only did the show provide me with a very real, down-to-earth new best friend, Mindy Lahiri, but the knowledge that such a show existed, with Mindy Kaling serving as both a creator and the star of the show, was a message that Asian American women could break down our own glass ceilings within the film industry. The best part of the Mindy Project was the fact that she's one of the most relatable characters in television. It reminds us that regardless of our race or ethnicity, dating still sucks, the lure of donuts is still really tough, and nobody truly has their life 100% together at all times. Moving forward 3 years, and we have the premiere of Fresh Off the Boat, the only Asian American sitcom to air since Margaret Cho's All-American Girl, which lasted for 1 season back in 1994. Fresh Off the Boat offered a deeper dive into my coming-of-age experiences, centering around an Asian family trying to find their place in a predominantly not Asian Florida community. The thing I love the most about Fresh Off the Boat is the way it gives insight into the struggle to fit in while also holding on to the pieces that make up your identity. As someone who personally grew up in an Asian family but attended a predominantly white school growing up, this show perfectly depicts that never-ending struggle between being Asian, being American, and both at the same time. Now, this segment wouldn't be complete without me mentioning Crazy Rich Asians, the movie that took box offices by storm this summer. Being the first majority Asian cast movie to tell a modern romantic tale since The Joy Luck Club, Crazy Rich Asians had the bar set high before it even hit theaters. Safe to say, it delivered, and Asian Americans across the country found themselves surprisingly emotional as they saw themselves on screen being more than just a caricature of their race. This movie hits close to home as I have crazy rich relatives in Singapore, and let me tell you, Crazy Rich Asians got everything right. From the family dynamics to the magic of Singapore, the attention to detail is apparent, and it makes for a movie that deserves its success. It's not only an Asian thing, it truly is an amazing movie, and I can't wait to follow the cast and crew as they continue to trailblaze in Hollywood. Last but not least, I want to mention Searching. Although I have yet to see the movie, I'm excited for theaters everywhere that experience the dedication that exists in Asian American families, and the milestone it reaches by being the first mainstream Hollywood thriller to be headlined by an Asian American actor. And there's so many things I didn't get to mention in this segment. From Netflix epic Aziz Ansari's Master of None to Awkwafina and Ocean's 8, Asian Americans have come a long way in Hollywood, but I'm incredibly proud. But we also still have a long way to go. There are stories that maybe aren't so popular, from the cyberbullying and harassment of Kelly Marie Tran after her role of Rose in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, to the accusations of Henry Golding not being Asian enough for Crazy Rich Asians after fans discovered that he's in fact just half. But as Asian Americans preparing for my moment in the industry, I'm thankful that pathways are being paved and walls are being torn down. Most of all, I can't wait to see what we achieve next. Hollywood, be prepared, because Asians, Pacific Islanders, half Asians, and Asian Americans, well, we're here to stay. Back to the hosts.
Thank you, Selena. It's definitely great to see so many awesome actors and actresses on the rise. Have you seen Crazy Rich Asians yet?
No, I haven't, but I have been meaning to.
You definitely need to. It's so good.
I will add that to my list right next to A Simple Favor because that one looks great too.
Well, we've got a short commercial break, but don't worry, we'll be right back with Netflix rom-coms, a South by Southwest Condor interview, and more.
Welcome back, Sneak Peeps. I don't know about you guys, but I can't stop obsessing over Noah Centineo.
He has been killing it as the lead in rom-coms lately, especially in his 2 films that are out on Netflix.
Netflix is bringing back rom-coms with films like To All the Boys I've Loved Before and Set It Up.
Yep, and there's a new film titled The Stand-In. It's set to be released very soon, so you need to check it out along with all the other rom-coms Netflix has to offer. We have Erin in the studio to give you all the details for what you need to be watching.
Take it away, Erin.
Hey everyone, I'm Erin, and we are so excited to be back here at Sneak Peek. The question we have been all asking ourselves this summer is, Are cheesy rom-coms making a comeback? Netflix seems to want them to be and has been producing them left and right. The Kissing Booth kicked off the summer and began the trend that just keeps coming. Who doesn't love watching two people who aren't supposed to be together fall in love? Everybody loves to root for an underdog. The Kissing Booth, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and Sierra Burgess Is a Loser all focus on an outsider who fall in love with a cool, popular boy who is considered to be way out of their league. Of course, how they realize their feelings and how they fall in love may be different, but they all conclude with a nice little bow and a happy ever after charm. I think every girl can relate to each of these stories on some level, at least I know I can, who hasn't had a crush on a popular older boy who you're not supposed to like according to your friends and family. Everyone has been raving about these films and they have become the talk of the entertainment industry lately. Having accepted the minimalist acting, time after time viewers get sucked into the story immediately and begin falling in love with the characters. Does Hallmark have some competition? Not to mention how great it has been to see some different minorities represented on screen. To All the Boys I've Loved Before wowed us all by staying true to the original novel written by Jenny Han. Sierra Burgess Is a Loser also pulls on our heartstrings by including the hardships that Sierra and her perfect cheerleader friend Veronica overgo. And of course, capturing the insecurities that Elle suffers in the Kissing Booth all create an emotional connection between the characters and the viewers. The authentic, sweet, wholesome, romantic stories hook us from the beginning because we can relate to these characters and we feel for them. And it doesn't hurt that Noah Centineo is very nice to look at and has been a heartthrob in 2 of these movies. My question is, will Netflix be continuing this rom-com trend? I, for one, sure hope so because I am a sucker for these films and certainly don't mind watching them over and over again. That's all for me. Now back to the hosts.
Thanks, Erin. Be sure to tell us on social media at Sneak Peek TV what your favorite rom-com is.
So, you know what I like even more than romantic comedies?
What?
Spy drama. If high-octane spy thrillers are more your speed, we've got Laura's South by Southwest interview for the gripping new TV series Condor.
Let's roll it.
What's up, Sneak Peeps? It's Laura Lawhead. Today, I'm interviewing the producers, writers, and star of the new AT&T original series, Condor.
Joseph Turner, who is believed to have killed Joe, are you okay?
No.
So how does one prepare for playing a CIA analyst?
A lot of reading. A lot of slightly depressing reading. I had to kind of get to grips with what the CIA, and of course you never really know what the CIA has been up to, but never will never. But, the little that we do know, from sort of 1917, I think it was, from China all the way up to today, it doesn't make for particularly happy reading, and it becomes very clear why America is culturally and economically and militarily dominant around the globe, and the CIA tend to have a huge involvement in that. That's the gist of it.
So you said that you've seen the movie, but have you read the original material, the book?
Yeah, I have. And like the book, the movie's fantastic because it gives you come out from seeing it with a sense of paranoia about our government and the governing bodies that are supposedly acting on our behalf.
Would you say that that's the biggest takeaway of the show?
Biggest takeaway of the show? God, my mind has gone blank because it's such a good question. It is certainly one of the takeaways from the show. For me, the biggest takeaway is here in America, but also in England and in France and most countries in the Western Hemisphere, with the exception of Russia, we live a very privileged existence. We have cheap, accessible clothing available to us constantly. We can get an avocado that's ripe and ready to eat all year round. We have cheap gas in our cars, and nationally we feel secure. There's a hidden cost to all of those things. There's an environmental cost, there's a military cost. There's slave labor producing those clothes that we wear. For one reason or another, we have to, or do, turn away from those uncomfortable facts. And what I like about our show is I think it forces us to look at the cost, the hidden cost of how we are afforded to live in this luxurious fashion that we've become normalized to.
Now, speaking of global cultures, how is it different working for an American-oriented show rather than the British production that you've done primarily in your career so far?
How is it different? It's actually quite similar. You know, a lot of American shows are actually oddly shot in England. We share a lot of the apparatus that makes these shows. Being an Englishman taking part in a show dealing with American current affairs and American politics, that's a little odd, but you know, England is America's lapdog, so it's not so hard.
Now, on a lighter note, how did you get the perfect American accent for the show?
Is it perfect?
It's really good.
Give me your hand. You have made my day. You don't know how much stress it was for my American accent.
Really?
You were the nicest. That is, you have made my day. It was quite hard. I hate those people that can just do accents. I'm not one of them.
It certainly seems to be a gift that some people just innately have, but I think you have that gift as well.
No, I don't. Half the time I kind of go Indian. A lot of accents, if I try Scottish, it just deviates over to Indian. It's never going to, Jamaican, you're never going to be cast. It's very unlikely, never say never, but I don't think I'm going to be cast as a Jamaican speaker anytime soon.
Probably unlikely, but American, you never know after this series.
You are literally, what you've said is the takeaway of my day.
Really?
I'm very pleased.
I'm glad. I live by the mantra that if I can make one person's day, then that's a
Well,
success.
you've done it. Now you can relax.
The last time we see you, you're still on the run.
I'm always running.
So, what can we expect? More running in the rest of the series?
And hiding.
Hiding.
There's a lot of hiding in various places, under beds, under desks. But lots of dodgy running. I'm not pleased with my running in the show. I had this whole thing, I thought I was very aerodynamic. I remember running once and I ran past like a car showroom and I saw my reflection. I was like, yeah, that guy can run. Turns out I can't.
Really?
I think it's because I'm too tall. It's like all elbows and knees and... I thought I looked like Tom Cruise when I run. I don't. I look like an awkward, lanky Englishman.
You do not. But speaking of running, did you have to train extensively physically in preparation for this role? No? But you're running up the stairs in the first episode.
Believe it or not, I could run up the stairs before this job came along.
I'm sure.
And there were lots of outtakes where I ran up and tripped. Pulled the Jennifer Lawrence. But yeah, no, I had to, the only sort of endless accent training, and then gun, which I had to do a bit of. And I didn't like. I kind of imagined I'd enjoy firing guns, but I just didn't. Scared the daylights out of me.
I imagine it's, terrifying holding a weapon that's designed to kill in one's hand.
Precisely, yeah.
Are you held to a level of scrutiny playing the real CIA operative?
What am I held to a level of scrutiny by other actual CIA?
Are they watching your show?
I hope not. If they are, I'm sorry. Again, you can't worry about things like that. My job is to film it and then forget about it. Like, I don't worry too much about the press, and you don't worry about what people are going to think about it, because nothing useful can come from that either way. Even if they love it, you can take away unhealthy things and unhealthy things from that. If they hate it, obviously you can take away unhealthy things. So just try to do the best job you can. Be proud of the work you produce. Stand, put your name, seal, stamp on that day's work and move on. I think lingering and worrying too much about what other people think is never good.
It's a good life lesson.
Great interview, Laura. All right, sneak peekers, we've got a quick commercial break coming up.
But don't worry, we'll be back with more great quality content. And welcome back, Sneak Peeps. As summer comes to an end, we thought it'd be worthwhile to recap some of the biggest hits.
This season actually surpassed a lot of expectations, and it's easy to miss out on some of the great films since there were so many. We have Zyra in the studio to fill you in on some of the best and worst movies of the summer.
You got it, Zyra.
Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm here to break down all the best and worst movies from this past summer. While fans should be ecstatic about how the movies crushed the box office this summer, many were disappointed by the quality of the films themselves. But I couldn't disagree more. I think this summer was filled with a bunch of great indies and a couple of standout blockbusters that made for one of the best summers Hollywood has seen in a very long time. The summer opened with a bang, Avengers Infinity War, the third Avengers film and the 19th Marvel film Infinity War, brought together both Wakanda and Hulk, Spider-Man and space, as well as Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Combine that with Thanos, the best Marvel villain yet, and you get a stellar summer blockbuster. But they didn't stop there. Deadpool came back to theaters, making us laugh until it hurt, as well as the very long-awaited Incredible 2 and the much-anticipated Tom Cruise stunt vehicle Mission Impossible Fallout. The acclaimed sixth installment of the Mission Impossible series, which I personally watched twice, if I might mention. Nevertheless, surpassing the big studio films, this summer were a smaller independent. I'm talking about Tully, Sorry to Bother You, Upgrade, Black Klansman, Hereditary, and 8th Grade. 8th Grade is the best adaptation of the middle school experience put to screen. Sneak peekers? You need to watch it. Hereditary balances complex themes and raw performances, and Black Klansman comments on the racism in our society today through a true story about an African-American police officer infiltrating the KKK. See, this summer was awesome. Now, I have to admit that there were some really disappointing films, such as Solo: A Star Wars Story, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and The Meg. But I would argue that these were pretty easy to avoid due to all the phenomenal material that surrounded them. That's all from me. Now back to our host.
So, my dear Madeline, what was your favorite rom-com on Netflix this summer?
I would definitely have to say Set It Up.
Who were the main characters in that one?
It's Zoe Dutch and Glenn Powell. It's really good.
They sound wonderful.
It's based in New York, which makes it even better.
Have you seen the one that we talked about earlier, To All the Boys I've Loved Before?
I have. Definitely my second favorite. Noah Centineo and Laura Condor are amazing. So
beautiful.
Highly recommend that one too.
Beautiful. Wait. Did you hear that? What's that in the studio?
A bird? A snake?
Nah, it's just Blake here to talk about his prediction regarding the new Superman casting.
Take it away, Blake. Take it away, Blake.
Hey, Blake Bosserman here. I'm neither a snake nor a bird, but here I am. We're going to talk about the DC Universe. Took a massive hit this week as Superman actor Henry Cavill walked out following negotiations for a cameo in Shazam. And while rumors are flying regarding the future of the DCEU, the question on everyone's mind is the same one that the classic superhero has been dealing with for decades. With Henry Cavill gone, who's going to play Superman now? We put together a few ideas regarding who could play the Man of Steel with one very important caveat. We've picked actors who have never been in a superhero movie before. So for anyone out there hoping for The Rock or Michael B. Jordan, like I know I am, they're out of this fight for now. But with that in mind, let's look at the top 3 picks of people that have never been in a superhero movie before. And at number 3, we have Armie Hammer. At first glance, Armie Hammer is probably the most obvious choice to play Superman. His recent success in films such as Call Me By Your Name and Sorry to Bother You have made him a definite A-list draw. And he's definitely got the look and the confidence needed to play DCEU's mightiest hero. And while he's more known for his drama roles, Hammer is no slouch in the action department either. Despite the lackluster performance of the Lone Ranger in theaters, Hammer easily did several of the more harrowing stunts and set pieces in the film. And if that wasn't enough to convince you, be sure to check out his role in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., where Hammer, as the Russian spy Ilya Kuryakin, trades blows with Henry Cavill himself. He might not have been able to take back control from Jesse Eisenberg, but if he can trade blows with Superman himself, the guy that reloads his own fist in Mission Impossible Fallout, then Armie Hammer's got our vote. Next on the list, we have number 2, Henry Golding, who we've already mentioned several times tonight. Although he's a relative newcomer into the acting world, Henry Golding has been winning over millions of fans recently with his fantastic performances in Crazy Rich Asians and the upcoming A Simple Favor. And I think he'd make a fantastic choice to play Superman. He definitely has the look, but the single best reason I think he'd be good for the role is arguably the most overlooked part of playing Superman. He would be an incredible Clark Kent. The whole point of Superman is that he's a guy trying to stay normal despite his incredible abilities and upbringing, which Golding showed that he can do perfectly in his role as Nick Young in Crazy Rich Asians. He's perfectly able to maintain a likable persona despite hiding several secrets about his past, something that is integral to any point in a good Superman performance. And in light of the relatively dark approach Henry Cavill took for Superman, I personally think that Golding would provide a much-needed cheerfulness and lightheartedness to the role, and could probably remind us all of the more optimistic atmosphere that made all of the classic comic books so great. And finally, at number 1, we have a complete nobody. And with more and more A-list actors being in the superhero roles every single day, I would love to see a time when an unknown actor takes the role and just totally rocks it. This is what happened when Christopher Reeve took the reins as Superman in the original 1978 film, and I don't think there's been a better casting of the character yet. There are so many young and talented actors out there looking for the big break, and with the DCEU planning on restructuring so that Superman isn't the key focus, this might be the best time to find a young actor who can take their time and really grow into the role. So there you have it. With all the huge number of A-listers already in superhero roles these days, there are only a few who'd be able to don Superman's cape without giving up their existing role. Armie Hammer and Henry Golding could definitely do it, but I'd also be interested in seeing a stellar performance from somebody I've never heard of before. So be sure to let us know on Twitter and Instagram who you think should take the reins of DC's greatest hero. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Blake Boserman. Now back to the host.
Well, Sneak Peeps, here we are at the end of our first episode back.
Don't fret though, we'll be back again every week this semester at our typical time and place.
Yeah, we will. And more importantly, we'll be posting around the clock on our social media pages to make sure that you are updated on the latest in entertainment news.
So be sure to follow us at Sneak Peek TV on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and even look us up on YouTube to watch our festival coverage.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.